Right, so for this video we're going to be looking at making it so that we can create new authors, and for those authors we can create books assigned to them, and also so adding in the ability to have staff users that are able to add these books and authors to the web page for people to view. So first off, I'm going to make sure my app is running, so I'm going to use the .venv scripts activate command in my command line to enter my virtual environment, and then I'm going to run my usual Flask run debug, and my website loads as we had it earlier. So going back into our models PY, we want to add a flag to know if a person is staff or not. So we're going to say staff equals column, and it's going to be a boolean. And I'm just going to make sure, yeah, and that's grabbed it from the right place, cool. And we're going to set the default value is going to be true. So using this now, we can run our Flask db migrate and Flask db upgrade. There we go, and that will now have made in my app DB. If I go into my users, I will have this staff set to a certain value. At the moment it's null. Sorry, I want to set the default to false, not true. So I'm just going to migrate and upgrade again and rerun it. There we go. So set it to false, not true. So I now need to make my user that I'm currently logged in as a staff member. So 123 and a super secure password there. So I've got my user, but I want to make them a staff member. So I'm going to go into my roots and into my index root. We're going to say current user dot staff equals true, and then db dot session dot commit. So if so at the moment, if I look at my user, so there I am, my staff is null, so that's no value. If I added another user in, this would be false, but for the moment it's got no value because I made this before I added this staff column in. If I refresh my page now, there we go, refreshed, it's now set to 1 or true. 0 would be false, 1 would be true. So current user is whatever the user's logged in. We can access the staff attribute of that user and set that to be true, and then we run our db session commit to commit those changes to the database. So if I go back onto my browser and I refresh it, it's not going to edit any more users for me there. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the bottom of my page, and I'm going to create an app.root for the staff and my methods. I don't need any methods actually, but it is going to require login, and we'll call it def staff page, or just def staff actually. We'll return a render template of staff.html. And then we're going to go and add this into our drop down. So at the minute we've got no way of accessing it directly, so we're going to add it onto there. So I'm going to go into my base, and then in here we can see that we've got some stuff for the name of the person and a logout item here. We're going to copy this one here, and we're going to change it to staff, and I'm just going to say staff page. There we go, and we'll refresh the page, and there we go, we have our staff page, and I can click on it and it just says the HTML page isn't found. Alright, we now need to make sure that if someone loads this page up, they are actually staff. So we're going to say if current user dot staff is not true, return redirect URL for index. So if I refresh my page now, it lets me view the page, so that's working. I can go back, refresh it, click on the staff page, and it lets me view it. If I log out, and I'm going to quickly register a user, Dave at Dave.Dave, password, we'll make it Dave. There we go. Register this new user, and save that detail. All right, leave me alone. And I log in. Now, Dave is not a member of staff, so I go into my database, and I'm going to refresh it. There we go. Staff for Dave is set to 0. So if I go and I click staff page, it doesn't let me load the page. It just takes me straight back to the index page. So I'm going to log out of Dave and log back into my 123 account. And there we go, my staff page loads. All right, we can actually create the page now. So I'm going to create a new file. I'll call it staff.html. And I'm going to copy the contents of my index page just to get the bits that I need there. And I'm going to refresh it, and we have our staff page loaded. Cool. So we're going to start off with a container and I'm going to do a row and a col, and I'm going to do a h1, and it's going to say staff page. There we go. So I got a nice nice header there for me. Cool. Beneath this this row, we're going to add a second row and col, and I'm going to make it a 6, and we're going to start adding in some cards. So this is going to be card body, card title, and our title is going to be authors. There we go. There's our authors bit. So in here, we're going to have a nice table, which will show us all of our different authors. So we're going to do a T head and a TH. So every table needs a head, and then the head is this these TH tags here. So we're going to have like a number, so they can see like which author it is. We're going to have a TH name, all right, and then a TH edit, TH delete. There we go. Beneath that, we do our body, and in our body we need our separate rows for our different items in the body, and then we put it inside TD or table data tags. So we're just going to have 4 of these. Then here we'd have some buttons, but we're just going to write button here for the minute, just so we can see the kind of layout that we're working with. All right, so we're going to end up with something that looks a bit like so. Beneath my table, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create a button, but I'm going to make it a large button. So I'm just going to load up my docs, and I want a block button. So to add in a block button, just beneath my table, I add in a div, and the class or classes of my div is going to be d, grid, and gap. Just d grid actually is all we need. We're going to have an a button. The href we're just going to leave blank, and it's going to be a button primary. There we go. There's our button, nice wide, and we're just going to add some text onto it. So it's going to be create author. There we go, nice big button. All right, let's get the creation of our authors working now. So we're going to need to create a form to allow us to create the authors. So if we look back on our authors here, we have ID, name, and bio. The only ones we need is the name and the bio, and we're obviously going to need a submit button as well. So let's go onto here, and we're going to have a class author form, which will be a Flask form. We're going to have the name of the author, so that'll be a string field, and the label is going to be author or authors. Oh. Can I change this to a normal one? And there we go. Author's name, and we're going to have the validators of data required, and we're going to have a bio, which is going to be a text area field. Biography. Validators for this one will be set to data required as well. And then we also have our submit button as well. So we'll just add that in there and we'll just say submit. Cool. All right. I'm going to generalize out the author form. So I'm not going to have a separate HTML page for the creating and the editing. It's all going to work off the same HTML page. So we're going to create a template called author form.html, and I'm going to copy what I've got from my login and paste it here. So I've got form.name and form.bio, and then I'm just going to add in a title bit here. Cool. I'm happy with that. So this is going to be a variable that we're able to change the title of it. So if we're actually creating a new one, it's going to say create new author. And if we're editing one, it's going to say editing and then the author's name. So instead of having two different HTML pages, it's a lot easier to kind of work with one and just change some stuff on the roots. Kidoki. So let's get this to shape. So we're going to go into our roots and we're going to create an at login required and app.route route path route. It's going to be authors create, and it's going to have methods of get and post, and the function is going to be called create author. We're going to copy what we've got here, so we're going to say if they're not a staff member, we'll redirect them to the index page. If they are a staff member, we'll create our form. So I need to import my form at the top. So it is going to be an author form. There we go. And I'm going to create my form equals author form. And we're going to render our author form.html, pass through form equals form, and finally title equals, and we're going to say create new author. Cool. If we go onto our staff page now, we can then make this create author button link somewhere. So we're going to say URL for create author. So now if we refresh that page, we've now got this. See that text that we added in there is working, and all this stuff's working. So George Orwell and he likes books. There we go. Submit, and it's not going to do anything because we need to make it do something. So we're going to say if form.validate on submit, we can start creating it from there. In fact, we need to do some bits in our models first. So I haven't created my init in my model, so I'm going to do that now. So I'm going to create my init. I'm going to say new name and new bio. I'm going to say self.name equals new name and self.bio equals new bio. Cool. So then we can start creating it. So if form.validate on submit, there we go. It does have brackets, doesn't it? Yeah, so we're going to say author equals author with a capital A, but I haven't imported the author at the top, so I need to import my author up here. Author and we can declare our brackets. So we take the name first, so it's form.name.data, and then form.bio.data. We can db.session.add it to our database, and then db.session.commit it. Once we've added it and we have committed it, we can then do a return redirect URL for, and we'll redirect them back to the staff page. So let's try that again. We've got George Orwell, he writes books. We click submit, and there we go. It's linked us back. It's still not showing it though, so we need to make sure that it's actually showing it on the staff page. So we're going to create this here. So we need to grab all of our authors. So authors equals author dot query dot all, and we can pass that to our front end. So authors equals authors. All right. So that's going to give us, by adding this in here, now our HTML page has access to the authors that we just grabbed from the database. So we're going to go onto our staff HTML and we'll get them showing. We need a for loop, and I need to remember how to do a for loop. For author in authors, and we'll end our for here. All right, so to get the numbers here, so to get which bit part we are on the loop, we can do loop.index, and that is going to give me a 1 there. All right, I can do author.name as well, and it gives me the name. We can't see because I haven't actually changed it. I'm just looking up a name of an author. There we go. So we'll add another one of Douglas Adams. I can't best write it out, so I'm just going to paste it. He also writes books. So there we go. You can see it adds in a number for whichever one it is. So that loop index lets us grab the number nice and easily. Not going to populate the buttons quite yet. Let's get it so we can add books in then for these authors. Okie dokie. So if we then take, we're going to add in the form or the bit on the staff HTML first. We'll do that first. So we're going to, after this call, so if I click on this div, I can see where its corresponding div is as I scroll up and down, because it's not all fitting on my screen there. So I just click this one because I want to go after this one. It tells me that its corresponding div is here. So then I can add in my second call there. Card body, and h5.card title of what was it's books this time. There we go, my books. I'm gonna have my table beneath it, so table.table, thead, th. Again, I'm gonna have a number of the book. I'm going to have the title of the book. I'm going to have the author, and I'm also going to have my edit and delete buttons. There we go, lovely jubbly. We're going to add, I'm just going to tbody, a tr, and a set of tds here. I'm just going to put some hashes in. In fact, I'll paste that one. It's 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So there's our table created, and we can add in our button beneath it. Just going to copy my button from before and paste it down here. So there we go. We got our create button. It's going to, instead of create author, it's going to say create books. And that should be it, I think. We're going to get rid of the link off of it for the, actually, what do we need? We need our forms. We need our form. So we're going to do class book form is going to be a Flask form. And our books, if we look at our models, we have a title, a description, an ISBN, and we have an author related to it as well. So I'm going to need a title, description, and an ISBN. So I'm going to say title equals a string field. We're going to say book title. It's going to be data required. Description is a string field with description as the describer, and validators is going to be, if I can type, data required, data required. Come on, there we go. We got our title, a description, and we need our ISBN number, ISBN. That is gonna, I'm gonna make that integer field. Is it an integer field? Integer field. I'm gonna make that an integer field, and it's gonna say ISBN, and we're gonna say our validators is gonna be data required. There we go. And we're gonna add a kind of select field for the author. So they're gonna have a little drop down, and they're gonna be able to select which author they want. So we're going to say author equals select field, author, and data and validators will be data required. There we go. And finally, we need our submit button. Again, we're going to create this on a generic form HTML. So it's going to be book form.html, and we are going to go into here and copy and paste. There we go. And save that, and save that, and save that. All right. On our books, we had a title description. So title description. We had an ISBN and an author, ISBN and author. Cool. That's got that working. Now go into our roots, and then we'll create the page. It's going to have login required. We're going to have an app.root of books/create. We're going to have a methods of get and post. Our function is going to be create book, and we're going to take this little bit of code that we made here and paste in because we need it. We're going to grab our form. Is going to be a book form. I'm also going to import book as well up here too. So we're going to have form equals book form, return render template, book form.html. We need to have or pass through our form, and our title is going to be create new book. Ooh, let's capitalize it. New book. Bosh. What do we want? Staff. So instead of create author, we can have create book. Refresh. Create books. There we go. All right. So this bit isn't showing here. I can't actually select my different authors from this. So I'm going to make it so that I can now. So we need to populate this drop down with some data. So if we go back into our code and into our roots, we can start to populate it. So we've created our form. We then need to get a list of all of our authors. So we're going to say authors equals author.query.all to get a list of all of the authors. We then need to create a list for our choices that we're going to have. And then I'm going to say for author in authors, I'm going to say new author is going to be a tuple, so I'm going to put it in brackets so it's a tuple, and it's going to be author.id and then author.name. And then we can append that to our choices. Choices.append our new author. So if I save that and I refresh my page now, still nothing showing because we need to run the form.process function. I refresh that now, still nothing showing because I need to assign it. That's going to help. I need to say author.choices equals choices. There we go. Now we've got a nice little drop down where we can select the different author that we want. So if I select one, it's going to add it on for me, and I now need to check. So we're going to see how this works. We're going to say if form.validate on submit. I think we want to run this process after the validate on submit. So I'm going to put that down there from memory. We have to do that. I'm going to print my form.author.data so we can see what we get when we submit the form. So I'm just going to put some dummy data in here. There we go. I'm going to click submit, and there we go. So because I've selected one, we get 1 here, so it gives me the index. If I select 2 and I click submit, hello. Oh, helps to put some data in. If I select 2 and click submit, it gives me 2 there. There we go. Cool. Next, what we want to do is make it so that we can create this book then. So we're going to say new book equals book. And we'll see here, I haven't created the init for the book yet, so we need to do that. So we're going to go into our model, and we're going to create our def init for our book. So we're going to say new title, new desk, I'll just do desk, new ISBN, and new author. In this case, we're going to actually use the author class to assign the author ID. So we're going to say self.title is our new title, self.description equals our new description, self.isbn is our new isbn, and self.author equals new author. So back on here now, if I hover over it, there we go, I've got my new values here. So we can pass through our form.title.data, form.description, what did I call it? Yeah, should be right. Oh, I need a comment. Form.description.data and form.isbn.data. So to get our new author, we're going to say it's going to be author, comma there, dot query dot get form dot author dot data. We can do db.session dot add this to our database. So add our new book to the database. db.session dot commit it, and then db.session return redirect URL for our staff page. So let's try that. I'm going to find the ISBN for 1984, and what is the ISBN for this book? Look up ISBN search 1984. I just want the book, please. There we go. So ISBN is going to be that. Our description is it's a book, and our title is 1984. I'm going to click submit. Okay, it's done something. It's taken us to the other page. It's still not showing us it though. So let's check it's in the database. It is in the database. So now we need to get it to show that book that we just created. So on our staff page, if we scroll all the way back up, we've got our authors, which is shown here. Now we need to get our books to show. So we're going to say books equals book.query.all to get all of our books. And then we're going to say, comma, books equals the books. I refresh it, still nothing showing, because we need to go into our staff HTML and create a for loop around this tr tag here. So we need to say for book in books, go down to here, and for, so we still only have one. I need to put in where I've got my hash is going to be loop.index. There we go, we've got one. We're going to say book.title. There we go, our title's appearing. We're going to say book.author.name to get our author's name. There we go. We're going to have a button here, and we're going to have a button there. And so those will be buttons eventually. So that's it. We're now able to create new books and new authors related to that books. Let's do another one, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. It would help if I could spell it when I was looking at the Lisbon. And I think I've just broken the website that I was searching with. No, it works. I'm going to create a new book. It's going to be called The Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. Description is going to be, don't forget your towel. The ISBN is going to be that, and our author is going to be Douglas Adams. Submit. There we go. Stuff's showing for us. So that is it. We'll have a look at actually adding these edit and delete buttons to work in the next video.